I am going to record. That's okay with everybody. And I also don't want to keep y'all waiting. So even though we don't have everybody with us, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I want to just shout out those of y'all who are on the call. I see Barsa and Marjan and Mustafa and Zara, and possibly there are others, joining with you. So thank you all for joining. We're not going to necessarily try and go on for a long time today, but this is not like a class. And even if it was, I would welcome y'all to speak up. But I especially want to welcome y'all to speak up if you have any questions or comments. Remember, this is our first time doing this too. And so if there's something that I'm not making clear or something that we didn't think about when we were planning, we want to hear from you so that we can make it right. Okay. So do speak up and let me know if you have any questions or concerns. But welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining. So I want to start off with some announcements and reminders. A lot of these things are already known or have already been announced before. But I do just want to make sure y'all remember. By the way, at the end of this, um, I would love to hear from y'all about your progress and how you're doing. And maybe at that time I can stop recording if that would make y'all more comfortable to speak, but that'll be at the end. Okay. So announcements. Do keep in mind that the business plan is due to me, to my email on Friday, October 31st. Okay. Now we've talked about this before. I do suggest a timeline of trying to finish the business plan this week on Friday, the 24th, because that will give you a little more time to review your business plan and make revisions if you need to. Now, remember that you all have a mentor at your disposal. So I think that, giving them the time to look over your completed business plan is a great idea. Instead of, having it ready on Friday and there's not really any time to revise it. Um, and by the way, remember we do have the practice pitch event on Saturday, November 1st. So there will also be time after the practice pitch event that you can revise your not only your pitch but your business plan if you need to. Okay. Um, Now that's one of the reasons we're doing a practice version and a final version. But all the same, I still think it's good to have your first draft of your business plan done by October 24th, because if it were me getting ready for a pitch presentation, I would want to focus just on that during those last 2 weeks from the practice pitch event to the final pitch event, and not necessarily on continuing to change the details of my business idea. Okay. Um, so business plan due on October 31st to me. Suggested timeline is to be finished with your first draft on October 24th so you can have time to revise it. Practice pitch event is on Saturday, November 1st. Final pitch event, which is the one where you are scored and where we choose winners, that will be on Saturday, November 15th. I want to remind you as well, we haven't really had anyone take advantage of this yet, but space is available at the IRC office from on Mondays and Fridays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. during the month of October. So there's 2 more weeks in October, where you can take advantage of that if you want. Any questions about this information? We're going to talk more about the practice pitch on the next slide. I see a thumbs up. Okay. All right, moving on. So what is Saturday going to look like? We are going to be at the IRC office on Saturday. Okay, I didn't write that down here, but that's where we've had everything else. Everybody knows kind of how to get there. And we really, really, really need you to let us know ahead of time if you need a ride from Uber. We're going to be trying to get things set up and organized on that day. So we really don't need to find out at 10:30 on Saturday morning that you need a ride on Uber. Okay, so please let your Connect to Success coach know, and or let me know, but do let us know before before November 1st. Okay. Now we actually have enough judges on Saturday the 1st to split into two panels. That will help the day move a little bit. So we'll have panel 1 and panel 2. Each panel is going to have 4 judges. And so each group is going to sign up for a time slot. That is going to happen in the next 2 weeks. We're not going to wait until November 1st to sign up for time slots. And each time slot is 20 minutes. So the first panel has 11 a.m., 11:20, 11:40. We'll have a break for lunch, and then 12:40 and 1 p.m. And then panel 2 will be 11 a.m., 11:20, 11:40, and 12:40. Okay, that one will have a break for lunch as well at the same time. Now I'm not gonna start receiving those messages yet, so don't send me anything today or tomorrow about time slots. But in the big group chat, I will send a message to say, hey, time slot registration starts today. And then you can go ahead and choose your time. And that means you don't really have to arrive until, it's time for you to present. If you sign up for, this is really important, if you sign up for the 11:40 time slot, do not arrive at 11:40, okay? You don't have to be there at 11 a.m. when the day starts, but you need to be there in time for you to get set up, all your partners to be there, and for everyone to be ready to set up and go at your chosen time slot, okay? So basically, we're just saying, please do not be late, all right? Whatever time slot you choose, be early. Do not be late. And I'll be sending a lot of reminders about that. We have a lot of people who are generously giving their time to volunteer as judges for this event. And so we really want everybody to, respect that. And that also helps your pitch, by the way. It makes you look more professional that you were there early, you were set up, and when your time came, you walked into the room, you set up your stuff, and you got started. That really helps put you ahead before you even start talking, right? So this is about the practice pitch. I see another person's joined, so welcome. This is being recorded, so if you missed information, you can go back and watch the beginning. I did send you all the judges' criteria, and we'll go over that a little bit in a few minutes and talk about it some more. I want you to have those things in mind, not only when you're finishing your business plans, but also when you're preparing for this time, making sure that you cover all the things that you need to cover. Visual aids are allowed and encouraged. The easiest one here is slides. If you have access to a computer or even access to a phone and you create a set of slides that you want to show, we can accommodate that in the classrooms that we use. Again, though, you need to arrive ahead of time and talk to someone about, hey, this is what I need to be able to show on screen, because I'll have my computer with me, so we'll Connect to Success coaches, but you don't need to walk in at your time slot and say, does anyone have a computer I can use? That's not going to be a good strategy, okay? Also, you can have handouts. Judges are going to have a copy of your business plan, which you will have submitted to me by the 31st. But you can also have other handouts as well. Maybe you have like a flyer that you want to show that you created. That's allowed. That's encouraged. If you have a product that you want to share, we have a couple people with like food product ideas. If you want to share an example of what you've created, that's amazing. If you think back on the business pitch videos that we shared before, people had like their logos with them, or like an example of the products just sitting off to the side. There are so many different ways you can check online what kind of visual aids can help you with a business pitch. But these are things that help. If you have some kind of visual aid that can catch the judge's eye, that's going to really help you a good bit. Remember that the practice pitch day, which again is November 1st, that day is all about, making some mistakes that you can correct. I do not expect anyone to have a perfect rollout of their business pitch on the practice day. And I want you to feel a little bit relaxed and able to, take feedback and ask questions. The judges are going to ask you questions. And so you want to do your best to prepare for those. But it's also a chance for you to have the thought, oh, I didn't think of that question. I need to spend some time on that before the final pitch event on November the 15th. So they'll be asking you a lot of questions. Are there any questions that y'all have about this day? I mentioned that lunch is served at 12. We'll be using the same restaurant as the first time on the first day that we had a workshop in August. Any questions about practice pitch day? Seeing if anybody else joined. 2, 3. I think we have representatives from 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. And we have a total of 9. So there's a lot of people missing this information today. All right, let's take a look at the business plan again. At this point, I think it is best if you have finished with identity, the problem, the solution, target market, competition, and revenue streams. I think this coming week, it would be best. This is just a suggested timeline, okay? But it would be best for you to focus on these last 4 boxes: marketing activities, expenses, team and key roles, and milestones. I would like to pull up the business plan workshop, which Francisco did and did a great job with, just to give you a few reminders about that. Marketing activities, expenses, team and key roles, and milestones. All right. So this is what Francisco went over in more detail during his workshop. In marketing, you're talking about how you will engage potential customers, where will you advertise, how will you advertise, and how will you measure the effectiveness of your advertising and promotion efforts. Describe how customers will interact with your business. Is it automated or personal? Is it in person or online? Think through the customer experience from start to finish. So that's what we're going for with marketing. With expenses, will your company focus on reducing cost or maximizing value? Define your strategy, list the most significant costs you'll face pursuing it. Team and key roles. Now, I know that some of you have one-person groups, and that's fine. But you might be including other people in your life and the business, and you can talk about them and their key roles. They just can't be part of your pitch. Like, they can't be there doing your pitch for you if they're not on your competition team. But describe how your company is organized, including legal structure, sole proprietorship, partnership, or corporation. Provide a brief bio of key managers within the company. Include an organization chart if available. Now, you might be taking on a lot of these things yourself, but just talk about that if you are, and talk about what you're prepared to do. And then milestones. In this section of your business plan, describe the specific goals you have for the future of your business. Try to be specific with the timeframes and metrics, and what do you hope to see with your business growth. Now, we gave a whole month, for the business plan because we know that a lot of this is going to be and is new to a lot of you. So remember, all of you have a great mentor at your disposal that you can call upon for assistance as you're drafting the details of this plan and as you're trying to get your pitch ready. Okay. We really want you to use all the resources at your disposal to prepare. And, I am available as well to answer questions. You need to work with your mentor with more of the specifics of like, can you take a look at this part of my business plan? Okay, that's more of your mentor's task. But if you're struggling with a concept behind business planning and the business pitching, you know, you can certainly send a message to me. We have the big group, the big NASA competition group that I post in a few times a week. But you can also send a message to me individually if you don't want to throw a question out for the whole group. And I'll be happy to read over that and try and provide some clarity for you. Okay. I want you to know that also that don't worry about being perfect. I mean, try and strive to put forth the best pitch and business plan that you can. It is a competition, and we are going to choose, the three top finishers, and that's going to be the prizes. But I want to remind you all that this is meant to be an exciting and hopeful and encouraging event for all of you. We want to help. We want you to explore your creativity. It's not meant to be an intimidating environment, certainly, when we're doing the pitches. You're welcome to invite people to watch you do your business pitch. It'll be in that big classroom. Okay, that'll be again. That'll be on the 1st and the 15th. I don't have a slide to talk about the final competition event on the 15th, but on that day we will not have two panels of judges. We will have only one because that's the fair way to do it. Everyone should be evaluated by the same people. So that day will take longer. All right. We'll have 9 groups and each group will go one at a time. I want to encourage you all as well. A few of you still have not met with your mentors yet. And it's getting, we're starting to get pretty late in this process. We have only 2 weeks left from today. We have only 2 weeks left until the practice pitch event and exactly 4 weeks until the final pitch event. So, don't do this stuff at the last minute. That's not going to produce your best work. I would like for you all to be in communication. I am very happy to see, I see some of you in fairly regular texting communication with your mentors. I think that's great. Do remember to keep your communication within that respectful time frame of 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. But I really don't see anything in that communication that's worrying me. The only thing I'm really worried about is if you're not talking to your mentor. I want you all to have the resources that you need and to receive good support and good advice. So those resources are available to you. But I will send more details about the final pitch event as we get a little closer to that. But it will also be at our IRC. It will also start at 11. But there will only be one judge panel. So the day will take longer. And then at the end of the day, the judges will need a little time to confer and compare notes, compare rubrics, and choose the 3 winners. All right. So we encourage you to stay once things are done. It will be a longer day, but I think it goes without saying, I hope it goes without saying that those 2 days, practice pitch on November 1st and final pitch on November 15th, those days are required. Okay. And there's no makeups for those. If you need to, if you're having work, you need to try and be off on that day. Make sure that your supervisor knows we do not have makeups for this. This is a heavy volunteer day, and we can't ask volunteers to, hey, can you come back on Monday? Hey, another group needs to come back on Tuesday. We can't have that. So everybody needs to be available on those days. For a few of you who arrived late, I'm just going to put again. I don't know if my screen is sharing anymore. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not sure if you all saw the slides that I put up for the business plan a few minutes ago. Can somebody let me know if y'all actually saw that a few minutes ago, or was the screen, had the screen stopped sharing? Anybody?
Now we have it.
When I put these slides up earlier, were y'all able to see them?
Some of them, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
These are, again, I was advising that y'all would need to be at the marketing stage of your business plan and, start getting ready to wrap up your first draft this week so that you have time to revise it. And then again, for people who were late, I just want to put up again the time slots that we have for November 1st, Saturday. Like I said, we have two judges panels, and everyone will sign up for a time. And the 9 times we have are 11 a.m., two different slots, 11:20, two different slots, 11:40, two different slots. We'll have lunch at 12, and then two slots at 12:40 for pitches, and then a slot at 1 p.m. That covers every group. That's 9 groups. Okay. And I did say I wanted to go over the judges' criteria. So let's take a look at that before we close. All of you have received this this form. So you all have it to look at in your WhatsApp thread. I would encourage you to use it, right? This is what the practice judges and the final judges are going to be using when they're evaluating the work that you've done. Notice that the main criteria is worth more points, okay? This whole criteria is 20 points. So it'll be on a score of 20, 1 to 20. The main criteria is worth 10 points. And so for each of these 5 points, you'll be evaluated as good, which is 2 points, neutral, 1 point, or on the weaker side, so no points. If something is not present, that'll get a 0, right? But the pain point, that's information about the problem. That's like, I believe, the first square on your business plan. Information about the problem that you're trying to address. Value proposition is the product or service information. That's where you introduce what your business is all about and how it solves the problem. The target market is who will buy it and why. And I just want to remind you all, your market should not be everybody. Okay. No business market is everybody. Even Amazon, which I think everyone has heard of, Amazon is saying they're trying to find any customer who would rather shop online than go to a store, right? Like they're not just saying everyone, even though that's probably the reality now is that almost everyone uses it. What's next? Potential impact of the prize money and the short-term roadmap of how you will spend the money. Of course, remember we have prize money at stake here: 3,000 for first place, 1,500 for second place, and 500 for third place. So you need to talk about that money and talk about how you will use it and how it's going to help your business. If you don't include that, that's a major omission. That's something that's really missing, because you're trying to convince the judges of why you need that money, not why your business is cool or just telling them about your business, but you're trying to convince them. And then describing the idea in a way that is memorable. I just want to remind you again that this part is not about being the best English speaker in the world. That's not what we're going for here, and the judges are going to know that. This is about making your presentation memorable, and relatable. Maybe it's talking about the problem in a way that your judges are going to say, yeah, I've had that problem before, or I can imagine having that problem. Maybe it's just that having a really good visual aid, right? Having something there that they can look at or that they can taste or see that is going to be memorable for them. But make your idea stand out. That's really important. So those five are half of your score. Okay, that's 10 points out of the 20. Additional criteria and delivery criteria, each of those sections is worth a total of 5 points. Okay, so each one of these lines is either 1 point, half a point, or no points, depending on how strong it is. Mention of pricing strategy or business model. This is one I know we probably haven't covered all that much. And so if you have questions about it, you can send the questions to me and I'll send you some more materials. I'll try and include some things in the big group chat in the next couple of weeks about it. More information about the market and its size. This is where it's just, we want to see you be specific about the market that you're going after. Competition and competitive advantage. And we talked about this, okay? Having the existence of competition for your business is not a bad thing, okay? What's bad is if you don't address it or if you ignore it. That means you're not ready to be in the marketplace against competition. You have to think about what it is that the competition is doing and how you are going to be different. It doesn't mean you're going to beat the competition necessarily. It might just mean that you're going to carve out your own section of the market that allows you to exist and to thrive. Explanation of each person's role and expertise. Okay. If you're a one-person group, you don't need to just say, I'm going to do everything. I'm the only person. I'm going to do all the stuff. You need to explain like what your strategy is going to be and what you feel you're really bringing to the table with your skills, and how your skills are going to help that business succeed. Potential for growth and scalability or commercialization of the idea. Remember, we talked about scalability. Scalability means if you are growing your business, your profits are growing too, but like a little bit more, right? If your profits are going exactly at the same pace as the amount of money you're spending for growth, then that's not true growth because you're not having any more profits. But if you're spending money to grow your business, and as a result, your profits are going up, but they're going up a little more than the growth spending, then that is scalability. Okay, that is scalability. Pitch delivery criteria. Told a story. Now, this doesn't mean you literally have to tell a story like a storybook, okay? But it means you're trying to make this a relatable pitch for the judges, that they understand the problem. Like I said before, you're being creative with the way you're presenting it. And if you actually do have a story to tell, that helps. If you can think of a time that you experienced this problem and that you really wanted to be able to solve that problem, or maybe somebody you know had that problem, then yeah, a story can help. But what we don't want to see is a list, like just a series of bullet points that you're talking through. Okay, we want it to be a little more dynamic than that, a little more creative. Providing examples throughout your presentation is going to help. Examples of the problem, examples of parts of your plan that you have in mind. You really need to make sure you're giving concrete examples as you go. Use of visual aids, we talked about. Having your business plan done. That's going to be a hopefully pretty easy one for you to have. If you just have visual aids and you have submitted your business plan on time, then that's going to be good enough. All right. To get the full point on that. Relating to the audience is important. And We talked about that a little bit already, trying to talk about experiences that the audience can relate to. But I want to also give you some advice here just about some professionalism. Okay. Of course, I've talked about being on time, getting set up, being ready to go. But also, don't forget to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are. Try to make eye contact with the judges. You can kind of bounce around from person to person. That helps. You don't want to just, maintain eye contact with one person throughout. But, try to engage. That's one of the ways to relate to somebody and to be engaging to somebody is to make that eye contact. Okay. Um, and then finally, enthusiastic, passionate about the idea, full of energy. It's okay to be nervous, okay? And I hope that you're not. But if you are feeling nervous, that's okay. That doesn't mean you're not enthusiastic or passionate or full of energy, okay? So that's one thing I wanted to make you feel okay about. But try and show that this is something that you care about, that this taps into your passion and your skill. Here we just have a section for the judges to write down notes if they have any. And I think what we'll do is that the judges are going to each prepare rubrics as you present on the practice pitch day, and then you will be able to receive them. And then you can use those for the next 2 weeks as a way for you to, okay, this is my feedback. This is what the practice judges said. How can I address these things during the next 2 weeks so that I have a really strong presentation for the final event on the 15th? So we've kind of looked at the business plan again. We've gone over the judges' criteria. We talked about the upcoming practice pitch. Starts at 11. Lunch will be served. Everyone needs to sign up for a time slot, and I will early next week start sending out messages for people to sign up for time slots. Are there any questions about what we've discussed? This is a great time to ask questions about what we've talked about, or any other question that you've had throughout this process.
I have one.
Yes. Martha, go
So
ahead.
by November 1st, is this the sheet of paper that is about identity problem or solution? Is that the one we need to turn in?
The one you need to turn in, yes, the one you need to turn on November 1st or October 31st is this one. This is your business plan. Okay.
Yeah.
I sent you all digital copies so
Mm-hmm.
that you could type on it. But if you are more comfortable writing on it with pen or paper and then printing on it and then writing on it, then that's okay. But that means you'll have to either bring it to the office to turn it in, or you need to make a good, clear scan that we can read. Okay. But this is what is expected. This is the business plan you need to submit on October 31st.
Okay, and by November 1st, we need to be in the IRC, you said, right?
That's right.
Okay, so is it okay if we bring it November 1st, or no, we should like do it October 31st?
If you need to, that's a good point. If you are going to bring a hard copy and that's how you're turning it in, then bringing it on that day is okay. I would encourage you to try and turn it in digitally on the 31st if you're able, just so that the judges can have a look at it ahead of time. But if you're not able to, that's okay. Make sure that you at least bring that hard copy with you on the 1st when you're in person. Okay.
Okay.
Good question. Other questions? Any more questions? I want to make sure everyone has time.
No question from our team. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I think we're good to go then. Use all the tools at your disposal, okay? Talk to your mentors. Send me a question if you have one about a concept. All right. Use the internet. use AI. It's all there out there for you, but just be proactive and solving the problems that you have along the way. Okay. If you're having a problem, if you don't understand something, you have to go after it and try to solve it by being proactive, talking to us, talking to your mentors, getting online and looking it up. Don't just wait around for the answer to come. Okay. I will be sending you messages. Please be checking not only your individual team thread, but the big group thread. Okay, that's where I like to post announcements there sometimes. I want to make sure everyone is prepared and knows what to expect. So please be checking those. I don't want to be having you guys have to come into the office all the time, which is why we have these chats. But if you're not checking them, then you're not getting all the information you need. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the great work y'all have been doing. I know you've all been showing a lot of creativity, and some of you are really making a lot of progress towards these ideas. So I'm really excited about it. Really grateful to you all for the hard work you're doing, and really looking forward to these two pitch events coming up. All right. I hope you all have a great afternoon. Be safe this weekend, and talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.
What?
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye bye.
Bye.